don't think a guy should be fired after the first year. Now, he's not fired yet. But there is a lot of news that Auburn is ready to fire Brian Harsin. Now, you know I hate Auburn. I think I know that you know that I hate Auburn. I mean, I do, but I got respect. And if there's news, I mean, I'm not going to be biased. I'll talk about it. I'm going to quote sources here. I'm going to go ahead and drop this link here, and we'll drop the link and we'll let you guys on the actual stream. Y'all do me a favor, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Really would appreciate it. I love each and every one of you out there. But getting to the first topic here, getting back to this, is Auburn seriously ready to fire Brian Harsin after one season? Now, maybe this is all, as Coach Nick Saban would say, hogwash and rat poison. But there's so much of this going on this week, right? I put this link in the chat. Connor O'Gara put this out on Saturday down south this afternoon. If Brian Harsin is Auburn's coach in 2022, he must do these 5 things. Which really, it was, number one, how the first season went down, but a lot of his staff has left, and he's got players in the portal. He's having a hard time keeping it together, right? I don't know if he rushed him out. I don't know what it is. But anyway, I'm not going to read all of this article. Let's see. But start here. This is a good one here. Whether Harsin even reaches a year 2 remains to be seen. If there's any attempt to fire Harsin with cause, to be determined on what cause would be, or what the cause would be, it's clear that he wouldn't go down without a fight. If he's fired at the end of the 2022 season without cause, Harsin would be paid 75% of his remaining contract, which would be a $15 million buyout. And I mean, this is all news to me. But of course, this says there's 5 things he needs to do if he wants to keep his job. Number 1, get stability with the coordinators. Let's see. Connor O'Gara again put this one out, kind of just speaking his mind when he says duh or whatever, right? Or was it? I wonder how much of this conversation with Harsin would have been avoided had he simply kept Mike Bobo instead of firing him. Okay, yeah. Granted, Auburn scored 1 offensive touchdown in the third and fourth quarter in the final 5 games of the regular season. That's not exactly keep me around material. Then again, can beggars be choosers? It was telling to see a 3-week search end with Austin Davis, who then turned around and left before he even coached a practice. Okay, the Austin Davis thing is in question for me. Mike Bobo going, I think that's a big deal. I think that is, in my opinion, if you ask me, I think that was the right call. If Austin Davis had not left to go to the, what did he go with, the Seahawks? He went to where he played football back in whenever. He was with Auburn for 2 months. 2 months. And he's gone. What is going on the plains? The exits from Davis and Derek Mason, by the way, who's out, put Harsin firmly on any hot seat, no matter who you believe in all this. Mason resigned before he took the job at Oklahoma State, took the Oklahoma State defensive coordinator job. I'm talking about Derek Mason. He went to Mike Gundy. Harsin didn't mess around with the search there. He simply promoted linebackers coach Jeff Schmedding to that role. I can picture it now. I think I get it. It's not necessarily that he's losing coaches. Well, it is. That's a big part of it, obviously. But folks, hear me out. If you lose one coach, no big deal after your first year. Okay, guy wants to be gone, or this isn't right for him. He's lost 4 or 5 different coaches in the past couple months, right? And now what's happened? I remember when this news came out a couple weeks ago with the Derek Mason thing, or last week, really. I think it just happened. He not only didn't, like, okay, if you try to look for someone to replace him and you can't find anybody, so you promote someone on your staff, that's what he didn't even try. He just put his hand on his face, slapped himself, and said, "I can't do this. You're getting stepped up in the next role." Harsin, which I thought was a great hire from the start. I thought that this could be the guy. And I said when they fired Malzahn, I said Auburn is in a risk reward kind of thing. Like maybe it is best they let him go, but who are they going to find that can truly fill the shoes of Malzahn? Because I mean, he had some good records. He had some good years. He won the West a few times. He won the SEC once. Like Malzahn didn't do that bad of a job. He just was inconsistent. You never know what he was going to get. Some years he wanted to run the offense. Some years he didn't. And the years that he took care of the offense, the thing was with Malzahn, he knew what years when he ran the offense for Auburn, that's when they had the success, when he was calling the plays instead of their coordinator. Who was that? Was it Kevin Steele or was that like their defensive coordinator? Maybe I'm thinking someone else, but they let him go. But then what happens is Malzahn goes to UCF. And I'm sitting there saying, who are they going to find out there? Because Lane Kiffin's got a job, Mike Leach. You have all these guys. You ain't taking Kirby. You ain't taking Nick. There's really nobody out there. Because, I mean, this was right after, like, all these other teams went after coaches. Or guys retired and didn't want to coach football. Hardly anybody's out there. It's hard to find. We always hear the saying, "Oh, it's hard to find a job." Sometimes it's hard to find a replacement in college football, and that was the case. They go after Brian Harsin from Boise State. I knew Boise State. I knew the coach. Did my research, put the pieces together. I'm like, he did pretty good. But what I said, quote me on this. Go back and find my Brian Harsin video when I talked about the head coaching job for him. I said he did great at Boise State, and he might do great at Auburn. But you cannot leave the MAC, or not the MAC. What the hell are they in? Mountain West, I think, Boise State. You can't leave that. As great as you did at a program like Boise State, and they're not a bad team. They're not a bad program. He did great there. But the SEC is a whole nother level. Don't come in here thinking you're some hot shot. And Harsin didn't do that necessarily. I'm not saying he did. But let's be honest. I mean, it's a whole nother level. If you take a job like Auburn, it's not one of the top tier coaching jobs, right? You got the Clemson, the Georgia, and everything. It's still a really historic football program and a great, it's one of those it's not a nobody program. It's SEC. Their biggest rival is the biggest team. They play in the biggest rivalry. They can recruit. They can get great players. They've had great teams in history and in years past. Like, it's not that it's a scrub program where you could just go and see what you do. There's a standard there. There is a standard with Auburn football. Be honest, right? But I will say that I think it is a little bit much to try to put him on the hot seat already after his first year. I'm not here to hype up Harsin. I said before that I thought it could be an interesting hire and he could do great. That's still a possibility. But I'm not going to count on it. I think he just needs to go out, find some guys, put them on the staff, get some coordinators, get it together this year, win at a minimum. Maybe if they could pull a good 7-5 record, plus win, not only make a bowl, win a bowl game. If he doesn't win a bowl game this next season, then maybe you should start to question him. We'll see. But for right now, I would say it's a bit too early to try to fire a guy after his first season, when truly I don't think he did anything wrong.